Wow.
All right, during the starting hands here, it looks like we've got some ice for John there, 2 tech startups,
Wow.
and a Jackson Howard.
Okay.
Not bad opening there. On Zach's side, it looks like ice, money, fem. Yep, same old thing. Not necessarily all the cards he wants to see at the beginning of the game, but at least enough of them that I think he's considering the keep.
Right. He's got a lot of breakers. He might be looking for more econ. Did you say that was Earthrise? Did you see Earthrise Hotel in his hand?
I didn't quite see that. I did see Career Fair Temujin, and if you're looking for econ in the early game, there is none better.
Right.
So he may be content with just keeping that alone. Oh, but yes, there is also an Earthrise,
Good.
as you mentioned. Yeah, I think that's a pretty strong keep from the top.
Oh, and of course, Doppelganger.
The Doppelganger. We've seen it multiple times over these 2 days, and not the most value displayed on stream, but I'm sure it's been doing well for these guys in other games. Really cool
there has to be a reason why they chose to include it.
Yes.
Over Desperado.
Right, which is no longer on the most wanted list, if I'm not mistaken. So no influence thought process there, but the ability perhaps enticing enough.
Sometimes you just do stuff for fun, too.
Hey,
you know?
There you go. And these guys, professional, classy guys, handshake there, and we're off. So Chiashi off the top, nice. Now 3 pieces of ice in John's hand. That should be enough to shut off the servers he thinks are worth protecting in this early game.
He's thinking. He's like, man, I got 3 ice? That's so greedy.
It's so good. But where to put what?
So Chiashi in front, Cobra second. What's the third one?
I believe that is a Kamainu there as the middle card.
Okay.
Definitely pretty punishing ice. Zach seeing the effect of face checking into these ice yesterday may not want to pressure that quickly.
Yeah.
But does, in fact, have an open server, and there it is, the Temujin contract, a huge econ opportunity for him.
And of course he's going to play Doppelganger, right?
Oh, man, Doppelganger getting a huge amount of value in this early game. Yeah.
He's got to.
It would be a great one to put down there. Allows him to get that extra run in. And there it is, Doppelganger. A card I think some players have honestly forgotten is in the card pool, but it is a 3 install, I believe 1 MU console, and if Zach makes a successful run, he's going to be able to make another one.
Yep.
And you know what he might do with that second run?
I think he could be Temujin run.
Get 4 more credits.
He might do that. He's thinking about it.
Might as well. Might as well.
And see, in this instance, technically, Doppelganger made more money than Desperado, right? Because he used it to gain 4 as opposed to gain the extra 1.
Pretty solid.
Or I guess technically gain 2, what have you. But it's pretty good.
Yeah. Nice start for Zach. Probably pretty happy with that. Tosses out the Aeneas Informant. I think that's a reasonable call. I don't know how many cards John is going to be installing that Zach can use that with. So pretty solid there. And the install of Ice over Archives and a Kamainu over Tech Startup.
We're getting it going.
What is he going to Tech Startup? That is the question.
So, I mean, looking at John's Corp deck, there's a few things. Number one, he can go for his Caprice Nisei. So he can get a protection asset in there really quickly. He can get Jackson Howard. But check this. He's running a 1X Eliza's toy box.
Holy moly.
And we know that there's a Chiashi installed on R&D.
Man.
That would be disgusting.
A huge amount of value if he deploys that strategy. Going to be able to res these huge ice and essentially turn on his ID ability to have resed ice that he can send Zach to on any subsequent runs.
Yeah, I
so
mean, that's pretty big.
Yeah, let's see if that's the line of play he chooses. Zach finding an Earthrise and a same old thing, very nice, and Tech Startup resed and used.
Here we
Into
go.
R&D he goes.
I think he's going to go for it. Let's see what. I mean, I don't know, but it seems like, yep, look at it.
Yep, and there it is, Eliza's Toy Box, another not very often seen card, but it is quite potent here. It is a 4 res, I believe 4 trash HB asset, and allows John to spend 3 clicks to res a card, ignoring all costs.
Right, and I mean, if you're John, I mean, why not just pay 4 res Chiashi?
Yep, there it is, spending 4 and
value.
click Chiashi. Welcome to the party.
Okay.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
Wow.
That is a lot of money. And of course, the other benefit is that while John can't res the piece of ice in front of it now, he doesn't care. He's gotten the value. The value's there.
Yeah, huge.
He paid 4 to save 8.
And if he is able to fire this this toy box more than one turn,
Yeah.
he's just going to continue to
Oh, yeah.
snowball these giant ice, and Zach's going to be a little bit behind economically.
And while, I mean, at 2 credits, there's really not much he can res. Oh, wow. He plays the Fim. And he Fims at Chiashi pretty much immediately.
Interesting. So that is
Or
a great
Archives.
kind of counterplay to, oh, there it is, to Jon's play there by revealing where the Chiashi is, gives Zach the ability to very strategically and easily target it with the Femme Fatale.
Yep. I like it.
I think that's huge. I think that's a great counterplay on Zach's part. It's going to shut off that threat and allow him to get through a Chiashi, that particular Chiashi, for 3 credits.
Yes. Now, but the other side of that, though, John's low money, but he also... Okay, there you go. Now he's going after it.
Nice. Zach, now with a killer on the board, feels comfortable enough to go to Archives and empty out the Temujin contract. Doppelganger is going to allow him to quickly zoom on in. And
it looks like John utilized the ability. He said, hey,
yes.
I've got a rest piece of ice, so if you're going to come trash this, well, good luck.
There it is. So AgInfusion forcing Zach away from that remote there. John trashed the piece of ice in front of it, said, hey, go to R&D. And Zach not seeing anything but a Cortex lock on top.
And with the killer already in play,
Yeah, I think
It's not
Cortex
that
Lock
good.
is still fairly taxing for Fem. You
It
know,
would be.
At 4 strength, that would be, I believe, 5 credits to break. That's not insignificant.
nah. Yeah, I think if you're John, I mean, do you ice this, Eliza's? Do you try to save it? Because like you said, it's looking like it's going to cost him 4 or 5 credits, and then you have to deal with the 4 cost asset that's in that server.
Right.
And
he's on only 2 credits. So, yeah, his ability to protect that toy box while still keeping his central secure enough, it's a tight spot.
And he's got to be worried about account siphon. He's got to be.
Yes, the combination of employee strike into account siphon definitely has to be on his mind.
Well, maybe not. Because you know what? Okay.
Nice.
So he says, you know what?
Yeah.
I might as well get the full value from it right now.
Right.
Put this on archives.
No need to protect if he gets another activation on it. So that is 20 credits total between resing 2 ginormous pieces of ice.
And so he lost clicks, but often you look at this and you think about cards like employee strike.
Nice.
Oh no. You see that ability and you think about cards like ABT where you get free reses. You're always happy when that happens.
Yep.
Boom.
Yep.
And he takes a look at the card he just saw.
Yep, so he's going to use Doppelganger to run back in there. Employee strike, as we mentioned, really critical in this matchup. And Zach picking a time to strike here in hopes of finding agenda in there. Not going to be rewarded just yet. I actually don't believe there's any in there, but he's wanting to make sure. Yep, finds Jackson Howard. Not a bad one.
But he's got to think, I'm about to pay 4 for this Eliza's.
That's
so
true.
If I do that, what am I giving up?
Yeah, Zach on 12 credits opts not to trash Jackson. Instead takes out the toy box. I think this is a really smart line of play from him. But both players have kind of established themselves pretty well in this early game.
Definitely. I mean, man, John being so low, has rezzed 20 credits worth of
Right. He's committed all these things to the big pieces of ice, and if he can continue to leverage his ability, they could definitely pay off. Zach drawing up there, and
Zach is sitting at what, 7 credits?
8 credits, I believe,
Okay.
on his dice there. If he's able to find an account siphon in this moment, that would be pretty phenomenal.
Right.
Decides instead, let's just run HQ straight up, and let's see if we can find maybe.
And Zach, it looks like he has a paper clip, so of course he wants to try. I think he wants to try to trash that as soon as possible. I don't see that John has anything to really punish that for trashing. I don't see an arc lockdown or anything like that.
Yeah, that definitely a solid include for Jinteki decks, but you got to have the influence for it. Ooh, okay, Cobra Res on HQ.
Ooh.
Not the worst thing for Zach at the moment, given that Fem can get through that for 2 credits.
Yeah.
But it is still a tax.
And it's going to make him question if he hits a Jackson, it's going to make him ask, do I do it?
Yep. It also is
the same.
it's depleting John's credits, so if Zach chooses to account siphon, at least John has spent them into something.
Yes, exactly.
A little more permanent.
That's true. That is true.
So not finding anything there. Zach has a lot of options in hand, and Katie Jones coming down. Pretty nice to
That's
see.
good.
Yep.
I mean, Zach. I mean, he was running low on credits. He needed a way to start having this bulk economy that stays, and Katie will provide that for the long term.
Right. Particularly in this matchup, in this moment, there are so few threats for Zach. He doesn't, I believe, feel the need to go much faster than Jon here. Jon is just sort of setting up.
And did you see what Jon just did? He installed the baddie on the HQ. So if Zach runs it, it gives him the chance to trash that Fem, and all of a sudden that Chiashi has his full value.
Wow. Okay.
Ooh.
So Film Critic on the board now, going to be a really pivotal card for Zach to handle these beefy agendas. And I'm sure that will definitely be used in this game.
Has to be.
But yes, the baddie on HQ, fascinating threat for Jon, unless Zach feels like wagering his Fem on a side game. He may not challenge HQ anytime soon.
And Jon's drawn into another Chiashi. I mean, he still wishes he had that Eliza. You know, that would have been good.
Right.
Okay. He said, yeah, we'll try it.
Remotes, credits.
Let's see. He's like, let's just fill it up.
It's fine.
Another good thing about having ice that big, while it is a Fem target, I mean, it means that normally you would layer it up, and throughout the course of the total run, the runner may pay 8 to 9 credits.
Right.
The ice that he's resing is so big, that one single piece of ice makes your opponent pay like 7 to 9 credits. I mean, you might as well. At this point, it's as good as having 2 pieces of ice a lot of the time.
Right. It's a pretty powerful threat there, and definitely one that he's glad to have rezzed.
Oh, he's happy to, man. And a hedge fund? All right, Jon, we see you. We see you.
He's coming back into it. Very nice. Just going to
do it. I dare you to do it.
Prepare himself. And I have not seen a single agenda yet this game.
Yeah.
They are well hidden in R&D.
Right.
Which means neither player really gaining much of an advantage at this point. So Zach's long-term plan for Fem, or excuse me, for Andromeda, it seems that his deck is just full of good cards to make good runs. We did actually, we saw yesterday him use the medium to secure these R&D accesses. I would have to imagine that is something he is considering building to in this game as well. That can be a really great way to close things out for criminals. So there's an install in the remote there. Zach on a very large amount of money.
We're so quiet, Cavis.
And they're deep in thought.
I think so. Cavis has a lot of. I mean, money's rolling in. We know that both Jon and Zach in their AgInfusion, however you people say it nowadays. We know that they're both running Brian Stinson. So there was a small little window there where Zach only had 5 credits. And it's kind of surprising because, unfortunately, Jon didn't have Stinson. Granted, that's a baddie to help him, but he didn't have that Stinson there to really take advantage of, like, getting money by removing it from the game.
We saw yesterday Zach having to play around Brian Stinson in the matchup against Michael Norman with Scorpios. And, very carefully managing his credit pool. And in this case, he may soon become aware that that's a thing he'll need to account for. On only 5 credits.
Oh, click into the draw. Yes.
A draw there for the Mongoose. That's pretty nice.
Zach loves that card. He just loves it so much.
It's great. It's such a solid include for criminals. Really nice, and could definitely be helpful, particularly in this sort of Cobra lock he's got there.
Right.
Because if he puts the Mongoose down, yes, if he loses the side game, Jon can trash, presumably the Fem, but at least he'll be able to have another way to break killers.
Which he'll need.
Which he will need
it,
yes, in this matchup in particular. So Katie Jones.
It's like everything that we're seeing on Jon's side, like not seeing agendas early, can be. While Zach has E-Strike out and he has money rolling in, we know it's coming eventually. Yep. Dude, you still have to deal with those side games as they come. So when Jon starts getting that remote together, and he starts being able to res ice, even if Zach has 20 credits, 30 credits, when you pay 7 and then lose that side game, and so you may pay another 7. I mean, that money can go away fast. We've seen it.
And Zach's deck has this kind of slow buildup of economy, maybe a bit more bursty with Temujin Contract, but even then, not that sustained
Right.
Over time. Well, Zach, considering his discard there, and actually tosses out the poor Mongoose. Farewell,
Really?
furry friend.
Well,
And there's another tech startup.
nice. What is he grabbing?
Tech startup. We know
Brian?
Elias's Toybox is in the bin, in archives, and considering his options there,
Caprice.
certainly has a couple solid options. So
Oh,
tech
sorry.
startup.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, what? Did we miss this?
Okay. This
We
is
missed this on the list.
a fantastic
this?
tech card. That, I believe, was a contract killer.
Wow.
This is a Wayland asset. It is 2 res, 3 trash, hostile asterisk. It's 4 influence. But John says, you know what? It is worth it because he can advance, and then use the click trash, a connection, or do 2 meat damage. And,
Wow.
he takes out
The film critic.
Film critic.
That is so good for John. He
This-
needed that to happen.
Absolutely. It is an awesome, awesome move. He knows that his deck could be quite weak to Film Critic. As we
Right.
mentioned earlier, the agenda's very film criticable. And if he's including Tech Startup anyway for various cool cards, why not?
Yeah.
If you've got the influence, let's bring back in that contract killer.
And obviously, Katie was a juicy target, but I think I think John's looking at it as once that Katie bubble pops, that's his money for a while. That's all he's got for a while.
Sure.
So it's probably better to kill the thing that's going to ultimately shut down my strategy.
Right, and he probably is also gambling on the fact that Zach would not include more than 1 film critic in his deck. And so with that now trashed, I don't know if there's going to be any way for Zach to get that back.
Right.
And so agendas like Obokata Protocol and Future Perfect and even Fetal AI to some extent are going to be that much more unstealable.
Right.
And I think it's given him more time with that play.
And it looks like Zach opts to pop Katie immediately. I don't blame him. I mean, it looks like he's setting up to actually, make some runs, get some accesses.
Yep.
At this point, if they dirtle too long, even with John at low money, if Zach dirtles too long, John's going to start getting to the point where he can just say, I'll jam a Caprice and a Nisei Mark II,
Yep.
and you can't get in. You're going to have to pop Katie, then play another. It's just too much.
Right.
So, I mean, gearing up right now, maybe he's looking for the medium to get some accesses because that card's filmed. Ooh,
Right.
and we see a Siphon.
Right, so the account
see
siphon in
this.
hand, but that is a pretty risky play to go in there.
Right.
No matter what it is on HQ, it's going to really hinder an attack there, and it's a tough spot. All right, paperclip on the board, and he heads on in to HQ. It is time to side game.
Yeah, he's going to try to trash program. Why not? I mean, why would you not try?
It's a pretty great play, and this may dictate the course of the rest of this game.
Oh yeah, because he trashed the Mongoose, right?
Yeah, Mongoose
Does he have any
unfortunately not
others?
installed.
Does
Nope.
he have any of the Singe Breaker?
Does he have?
Does
in
he have
his
like
deck?
2 Fims? Like what? Does that have?
So he does run 1 of Scavenge, which is pretty nice. But 2 Fem as well. Okay, so he
Okay,
does have a second
okay.
Fem. So it's not the end of the world, but at least it will slow him down heavily if he loses the programs here. So here it is.
And John's definitely going to trash.
So
the
Marcus
Fim.
Batty playing the side game.
This is my res window. I'm using my res window, right? I have a res and paid abilities window.
And so Marcus Batty is able to fire before Zach encounters the Cobra there.
Just checking timing windows. Like, are you triggering it before I get to the
Yeah.
first piece of ice or after? Yeah.
Right, because particularly if John's able to fire it, it's pretty rough.
It looks like John got it.
There it is. The
Okay, so he's doing. Oh,
oh my goodness, the Cortex lock.
that's 3.
We saw it earlier. We thought, oh, Cortex lock. Maybe
He wants
maybe
to
we'll see it.
he
Maybe
wants
we're
to
not.
hit the Siphon.
Yep, and
Yep, he did
and
it.
That's the hit there. 3 net damage, and Zach must jack out now
Yep.
because
Yep. It'll
otherwise
be
that is
GG.
that's game over. Yep, Cortex lock into Cobra. Pretty good.
Yeah, turns out
pretty
good. Well, that was definitely a clutch baddie play.
Yep.
Good play by Jon.
Yep.
Because now his that Chiashi that he got to rest for free.
Oh,
Up.
it is live.
I mean, and of course, doing that, hitting that siphon, that's got to be a sigh of relief for Jon, because now he can look at it and go, okay, now I can just gain my money. This is what I care about. I mean, same old thing is still there, but he knows that Zach has got to, worry about tags.
Right, and even if he were to get to same old thing siphon, the amount of setup it would take to get through those pieces of ice, it's just prohibitive at the moment. So Jon has earned himself several more turns of time to set up his game plan.
This is good. This is good for Jon.
Very good for Jon.
Now, Zach does have a special order, so while we lost that Fem, he is able to get another one.
That is true. There's a second in the deck, we believe, which he can use, and will most likely use it on Chiashi again. And, yeah, it's just recovery time. Get set back up yet again. Now, Zach has drawn the medium. We did mention this earlier, a really key card for him. In hopefully closing out the game. But is it worth it to challenge R&D right now? He technically can break Chiashi with paperclick, but that is so expensive.
Yeah, it is. I wouldn't. He doesn't. I mean, sure, if you have to, but I think at that point maybe you just look at other avenues. It's just so much money.
Yep. And so if you need to dig for answers, there's maybe no better solution than Career Fair into Earthrise. So Zach puts that down, and we'll see what he manages to find.
Now, Chiashi, is that 8 strength?
That is, yes, 8 strength.
So, yeah, I mean, it's going to cost him 6. Zach, it will cost Zach 6 credits on paperclip. 7? Is it 7 credits?
So paperclip starting at 1.
I'm so sorry.
Yep.
It'll cost him 7 credits to get past that, and that's just
right.
Yeah, I mean, with Zach sitting at what is that, 14 credits? You don't want to pay 7
for single accesses. No. Yes, you can start to build up a medium, but that is that is perhaps overcommitting at the wrong time.
Totally not worth it.
Jon has got a Jackson Tower on the board, as we see. He's drawn 2 agendas and several other solid pieces, and now has the ability to filter his HQ and get the cards he needs to score out. And that Nisei Mark II may very well be his next move.
I think so.
Setting up for that.
So after drawing those cards, Jon's trying to figure out, where's my scoring window. It looks like he only runs. Let me double check this. He only runs one Caprice Nisei, but he runs 3 baddie. So it's pretty clear his plan here is to, with the baddies, he just wants to, kill as many programs as he can. Sort of that, and once you kill off so many, they really just kind of stuck.
Right. So interestingly, he also does not, I believe, run any currents, meaning his only way to disable that employee strike there is to score an agenda.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to manage to do it without relying on his ability.
Wow. It's kind of hard. Yeah. But I mean, he's got it.
Yeah.
Right now he's in a good spot. Zach's got money flowing in, but he needs more pieces.
You're right. He is definitely advantaged at this point and is deciding which cards to keep and which cards to send off to Jackson. 2 cards off the top for Zach. Money and card draw, always good to have, but he needs answers at this point. And I believe that was Aeneas Informant and Aaron Meron. Is Aaron Meron something you consider installing in this matchup?
It's weird. So it often seems like it's attractive regardless, just because as the game progresses, it turns into free card draw.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, though, is Zachary at the point where we think he has enough credits to where it's a card he can just throw down? Maybe it's better for him to wait.
He certainly would get the maximum possible value he could in this matchup, given that no agendas have been scored.
Exactly. But so I think he will. I think he will install it, just maybe not. Maybe not right now?
Yeah. Again, both players not really rushing.
Well,
yep.
Yeah.
Zach agrees. Aaron Meron, probably going to get some value out of him one way or another. Yeah. At the end of the day, card draw is card draw.
And Aeneas right now is kind of it's the card you don't want to play.
It's,
I mean,
it's
not
so
be
tough.
useful.
Yeah. What even would you hope to use it on?
Ooh, and there we go.
Obokata off the top.
And see, this is where I think you kind of go, because, well, maybe not. It just feels like Zach doesn't have a Century Breaker, so you just take advantage of it.
Right. I think Jon has to respect the special order play here. Going special order into Fem deploying the Fem immediately allows Zach to really get in anywhere he wants. He has got a good number of credits. It would exhaust his resources pretty heavily, but it is doable, and Jon has to respect that. So a scavenge off the top here, very cool include. Could certainly be helpful in recurring those programs, and maybe even using scavenge on something like Sneak Door Beta, right? A card that he might otherwise not use, given the DNA tracker res on archives. He might say, you know, let's get this Sneak Door in play and then get a nice little discount on Fem. Paperclip also being a really fantastic
that would be
way
fantastic.
to say, we'll see you later, Paperclip. We'll get to you when you're relevant.
Yeah.
Let's find a Fem instead.
I like that.
Nice.
I think that's I like looking at it that looking at it with that that sort of wombo gumbo. I like it. I like it.
What Zach has is options.
Yes,
he just needs to identify the right opportunities to strike, and he's not being pressured to do so anytime soon.
Right. Boom. And it's gonna happen like we think it's. What?
The
Abigail? But
I believe
he doesn't have a code gate.
He said Paperclip, but he put the Abigail in his heap. Did he intend to be Abigail? I'm a little confused. Abigail certainly being a card I believe he'd want to keep installed.
Yeah, just... Yeah.
Is he running more than one? No, two. Okay, so he does have two Abigail.
So he does have another.
Okay.
I guess he was trying to reduce the overall... I guess he's trying to reduce the overall amount he'd have to pay, but Abigail costs 5 and Paperclip costs 4, right? I think so.
Abigail is also 4. So
yeah, so I'm not sure why you would... What?
Well,
okay.
Seems like Zach has a plan.
Yeah.
Has committed to the play, as we said, a very precise, notable player.
Okay.
Even though I think I heard Paperclip, I might have been mistaken, and he is... Okay. So his opponent assumed Paperclip, but Zach said, you know, I've got a plan, and that plan is bye-bye Abigail.
Okay.
We'll get to you later.
I'm fine with this.
It is what he's chosen to do. Very well.
Now, actually, that was kind of revealing because, they have similar, corp decks. So Zach is going, wait a minute, you trashed, 4 pieces, 5 pieces of ice? When I know what's not there.
Okay, so interestingly enough, I will point out that on reinstalling that Femme Fatale, Zach has actually chosen to put the indicator on DNA Tracker on archives.
So his plan is, I'm just going to sneak Andromeda. Okay.
Yes, that looks like
So,
his line of play.
I see what's happening. Maybe. So let me. I'm gonna go deep. I'm gonna go deep here.
Yeah, break it down for us, Hollis.
Maybe now. I would assume Zach has full knowledge of Jon's deck, but we know he has 2 Abigail, but only 1 Paperclip. So by getting rid of Abigail, he's saying I can get rid of this Abigail if it gets locked down. I still have an Abigail in the deck. However, if Paperclip goes in discard pile, then I get arc locked down. I lose it. Not only that, but I'm going to put a Sneak Door Beta to deal with the only code gate that I worry about anyway.
There you go.
So that's what it seems like.
Yep.
But that sounds like a stretch because is Jon running arc lockdown? I don't think so.
I don't think so, but Zach is on another level. He's got a plan, and he's going to stick to it. I will say the other benefit of going for the Sneak Door line of play is he diffuses whatever upgrade Jon has chosen to put on HQ there, and will allow him better access now that he's got his killer reinstalled.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that.
Nice.
I wonder if Jon will respond with an additional ice over archives.
Wow. Okay, so Zach has, I believe, put that Temujin contract on HQ, and if there is a clear signal that he's had in there, I can't think of one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're Jon, you know he's going to do it. So the question is, how do you respond? Are you going to throw an ice on it?
He has 1 Cobra and 1 Baddie in hand.
So maybe, ooh, that would be come on, that would be so disrespectful. Alec, if he tosses that Cobra on archives and then baddies, that is so disrespectful.
It is definitely a line of play. It would be pretty sweet. I will say I'm a little skeptical of committing resources that way.
Yeah.
When he has yet to score a single agenda, and really doesn't have that stable of a remote to do so.
Right. Nope.
So instead he chooses, let's commit that line of play to the remote instead, Baddie and Cobra.
Oh no, this is really dangerous. He's got to know. Wait, how many cards does Zach have in his hand?
Here comes the Sneak Door.
Oh, but he can't steal Obokata. Does he not have 4?
I didn't quite catch. He probably doesn't have that many. And
It's not going to work. And I think John made his play maybe thinking that it was going to work that way.
Oh, right.
Maybe.
Resin now. Then
I don't think this particular Marcus Batty is going to have any benefit in this
Yeah,
scenario.
where's the paidability window after that?
There's no paidability window between.
Yeah, so the player's just discussing here whether or not Batty would work, and I'm pretty confident that it's just not going to help, and that means Zach is gaining money, gaining accesses, diffusing the Batty. It's a great play for him.
Yeah, it's really good for Zach. All right. We might see the first agenda
So
score
rolls
here.
it up, checks it out.
Obokata,
4
is he
cards in
gonna
hand.
do it?
Ooh, is it time? Okay, yep. They're all in the bin, and that is 3 points for Zach.
Yep.
He's on the board.
He's on the board. And the thing is, this is really dangerous for John because we know he has another one.
Yep.
And he's gonna trash that, of course.
I think this is Zach's best move here. You know, he's lost the film critic, so he's going to have to absorb that 4 net damage at some point in this game, in all likelihood.
Right.
And he's chosen to say, in this instance, I think it's safe
Yeah,
enough to do it now. Let's just do it now.
So now he's questioning if he runs again. Because, I mean, if it's a fetal, it's over. If it's a snare, if it's fetal, it's over.
You see here, Zach is actually
Oh,
using
Aaron.
the Karen's counters on Aaron, excuse me, to, as a paid ability, get cards back in his hand.
I like that.
Very, very good.
Aaron Marron doing work.
Man,
Doing the work.
we questioned it earlier, but it's paying off.
Aaron doing the Jackson Howard, the Jesus Howard work.
Well done, Aaron. And now you see, with the Marcus Batty there out of the way and same old thing on the board, maybe it's time for some silence.
It might be.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think this is right. I think he's got to just go with this.
Yeah, this is a huge play for John. He has found the Nisei Mark II, and he's put it in what I would say is a pretty secure server.
Yeah.
Marcus Batty Cobra on top, not something Zach is going to challenge.
Right.
lightly.
Like this is just the.
I think I can win 6 minutes, guys.
John said it's not like I'm going to win in 6 minutes. That's what he just said. I mean, they've got a little time, and the thing is for John,
Sure.
he's got to rush like this. He's got to do it. He's got to jam this in there, and then if he can score it,
Yep.
he's got to do it again.
Well, and like we've seen all day, these Nisei Mark IIs, they allow you to stabilize so heavily, but you need to get that first one scored. And once
Right.
you do, you get your foothold back in the game. But at the moment, yeah, down 3-0, he's got to make it happen.
Yep. I think Zach's checking for baddies. He's like, how many are left?
Yep.
Is it a Caprice?
Yeah, making sure has the cards he needs in hand, finds an
There's a
account
siphon.
siphon. That's pretty good.
So I think we're going to see. I think in the next 5 minutes, what's going to happen is I think John's going to be able to get this agenda.
Yep.
But I think we're going to see Zach start to blitz R&D because he's got to. He doesn't have a choice.
Sure.
He's got to like siphon, go kind of be kind of ballsy here and just get the single accesses, and hopes that he can top deck.
Yeah, pretty solid finding the Abagnale there.
Is
That
that a
will.
brain trust? What is that? He drew something. He drew some agenda.
All right,
what it is?
that is the Nisei Mark II there, scored by
Nice.
John. 2 points on the board, and that very, very important
Yep.
counter. Not only that, the employee strike has now been diffused, and so John is free again to use his ability.
Yep.
However, he's got a lot of res dice on Central, so if that's where Zach's going to focus, not going to be that helpful.
No, what's funny is Zach installed that tech startup, but he didn't go grab anything. But then again, I'm not sure there was anything for him to grab.
Sure.
At this point, Zach has a fair amount of money.
Yep.
Employee strike is out.
Well, employee strike should not be out, I don't think.
Oh, did he not
after
play another
the
one?
Score.
Oh, you're right.
I didn't see him play another one.
So employee strike should be gone.
Yeah. But not relevant at the moment. He's just going to HQ multiple times, has used the sneak door beta there, and is gaining credits through the tuition contract. Very nice.
2 turns ago, but yeah. Nice triple advance to go.
So 4 minutes left. I think, for whatever reason, I think John drew into an agenda when he scored that Nisei. So I'm thinking, there we go. They noticed it.
Okay.
If John has another one, I think he has to just jam it. I think he has to just throw it down and say advance.
Does he have any cards?
Maybe
I'm
not.
fairly sure Zach trashed everything that was in his HQ there. We see a contract killer, and I believe maybe I can't recall what else was in HQ, but a Jackson.
Oh,
but yes,
wow.
that was also trashed. So
What's he doing the one damage for? Oh, I think.
Account Siphon heading in. We see that on the board there.
Okay.
And as Zach has used that, absorbed 1 net damage, paying 2 for Femme Fatale. And there it is.
Oh, did he AG? No, what did he do?
Couldn't have used his ability there. That was the Nisei token that was used. You see it's now been removed from the agenda. And he says, do not want to be siphoned.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Wait, with Zach at the credit amount he's at, you kind of just want to just. It's weird, right? If he's got that amount of money, it might as well just be fine. Might as well just like not give him more so he can run R&D and top deck and guarantee the win here. They're both rushing to just get the final like whatever points.
Right. Particularly because Zach has also gained 2 more counters on Aaron Marin. That would have been a fantastic siphon click. But not today.
Oh my gosh. He got another one.
Finds another account siphon on top of the deck. How fortuitous, and there it is.
That's pretty rough.
Da, 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 da.
If you're Zach, now if you're John, do you AG? He's got ag.
Well,
oh, he can't. You're right.
AgInfusion, if you recall, Hollis requires an unres piece of ice.
You can't do it.
That is, gonna mean he's just gonna suffer the loss of 5 credits. Boom, Zach removing the tags immediately, drawing 2 cards. Criminals, man.
Phew. That's what they do, man.
They've got.
This is their jam.
They have got some tricks.
So now Zach has this huge explosion of money. He can just run R&D and say, "Hey, I want to know. I need to know what's there. Can you tell me?"
Yeah, it may be time to get in there.
I feel like there's a Phil Collins song somewhere in there. But like basically, Zach has enough money now to just check R&D a couple times, which really is maybe all he needs, especially when John wants to top deck an agenda scored immediately.
Right.
He said credit IPO?
Yes, more money for John. With only 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining, both players trying to suss out where is that agenda? Where can we score? And unless John threatens to find 1 more point, the game is currently in the favor of Zach.
Yep. Oh, wow.
Wow, Nisei Mark II
Well,
off the top.
question is it safe? Well, yeah, I think he's fine. Install, advanced ones.
What's that? You're good, because you used 2 before.
Yeah, so this is huge for John. The Nisei Mark II, of course, if he's
It's
able
all
to
over
score.
that remote?
Yep. And plenty of ice. His ability is currently on. Even if Zach reduces his credits somehow,
Yeah.
it's a tough remote to bust.
It is.
Zach will have to use some tricks and
And we don't see any.
Find a
We
way.
don't. I don't see an inside job in there. I don't see anything that's gonna, jump over any ice or trick him.
So at the very least, he does have the same old thing that'll allow him to either get a scavenge or an employee strike, both of which could be really relevant to getting
True.
this remote. But even still, that baddie is waiting down there to
Oh,
cause some
he's
mayhem.
thinking scavenge.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, "All right, Fim."
All
Or
right.
Abagnale. Okay.
Yep, he says, Sneak Door Beta, you've done your work. Thank you very much. Let's get Abigail out here. And now all 3 breakers and plenty of money.
So that's 2
He,
clicks.
Yeah,
That's
it may just be go time.
That's the double click. Let's see what happens. I mean, this is for the game here.
Yep. In all likelihood for the game, 13 seconds remaining. Res of the Cobra. And Marcus Batty.
Boom.
He's here to play.
Hello, hello. My name is Marcus.
Stop. It's Batty time.
How are you, Marcus?
The Psy game.
Well, guys, this is called Netrunner. Let me explain how this works.
Here it is.
The game, you pretty much play what you think is your best game, and then you basically have a 1 in 3 chance of winning. So good luck. As John rolls his ring, he's like, "Let's see if this works."
John.
Good luck, guys. This is
feeling
for the game.
Yep, feeling the power of the gods. And that appears
He
to
got
be
it.
John's victory on the side game, and
Yep.
the Cobra striking on
Wow. Well, and that's really bad.
Yeah. That was all she wrote, I think. I believe a Lotus Field behind the Cobra there. But yeah,
Baddies, man.
that's pretty tough.
That's baddies. I mean, remember for a while back, we had these HB decks that were running 2 or 3x baddie, and their plans were just trigger for brain. I'll do brain again. when you have these trash program subroutines like this, and you have baddies just firing over and over, it's rough.
It's crazy. Marcus Batty, a card that's been in the card pool for a while, and when it shows up, it can do some serious work.
Right.
I will say, though, I think Zach does still have a chance, however slight. He's unable to access this agenda here, but if I'm not mistaken, he does have a single click yet, and he's going for the only route available.
Here we go.
Breaking through Chiashi with the paperclip.
Here it comes. Nope.
And a whiff. No agenda on top. And that is that. Jon Dalesandry is going to take his last turn, score the Nisei Mark II, and there it is, 4-3. Jon Dalesandry.
All right.
Triumphs.
Wow. I mean, that was a really well-played match by both players.
Yes, very tactical, very intelligent. Both players taking their time and making the best possible plays and finding avenues that maximize their odds.
Right.
And in the end, it came down to one or two really critical side games.
That Eliza's toy box.
That tech, that and the contract killer on Film Critic.
Yeah,
pretty remarkable.
That was amazing. Like the thing is, they're running similar decks, and like Zachary went towards. I don't even know. Was Zach also running the Eliza? I don't think he was.
You know, we'd have to check his deck list. Definitely very similar kind of play style for both players. Getting set up, getting ready.
Yeah.
And yeah, even with the very specific knowledge of each other's cards, they ascend to this higher level of play. Of, I know what you've got, and let me see if I can take care of it.
That was interesting. It was fun.
Very cool.
It was very, very cool.